There we go. Without intending to throw out names and sound important, this program was developed when I was a business partner with Jim DeMint. And then he went on to the Senate and now on to the Heritage Foundation. But the nursing staff at Self Memorial Hospital in Greenwood helped me come up with this. And we used it all over the place. And I think there's some things in here that can benefit us and help us to understand some things. But who do we work for?
Brown Mackey and the students.
Okay. Do we work for anybody else?
Each other.
Okay. Who are our customers?
Our students.
Are students our customers?
Yes.
They are. Are they anything else?
Our product.
They're also our product. Okay. But we've got two kinds of customers. We've got internal customers and external customers. We are customers to other departments in here, and they are customers to us. Am I right? If we don't teach right, the word gets around, and if the word gets around, students don't come here. And admissions gets hurt when that happens. So we are customers with admissions. We are customers with other departments. So there are two types of customers. There's internal and external customers. Who are our customers? Who is our main customer?
Our students.
No.
No, it's going to be the stakeholders outside that our students.
The
will
people who
graduate.
hire our students are our main customers, aren't they?
Right, because
Okay.
they're getting the product.
They're getting our product. So the students who are our customers are at the same time our product. And our chief customer is the person who will hire the students who go to school here. So they're our external customer, right? I'm sorry about the sound. I wish I'd turned that off. As instructors, your customers are your students. My customers, students, internally. Other departments. But the companies that hire our students are the important ones. As a part of an institution, you're responsible for both external and internal customers. But the way that you treat yourself, the way you treat your internal customers has a major effect on how our external customers get treated. The way we treat our product, those customers, and the people in here. If we get upset with admissions, does that also affect financial aid, and does it also affect academics and all this? So the way we treat each other internally, including the students, determines how well the external customer, the final customer who hires our students, gets treated. Agreed? Okay. So let's go here. Roy Disney was Walt Disney's brother. Roy Disney ran Disney World and Disneyland. He was the manager of these places. Roy did the hiring and firing. If you go to work for Disney today, you go through Disney University. You take if you're driving a tractor building a new ride, if you're grading the ground for it, you go through Disney University. But he said, if you know what your values are, decision making is easy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
If you know what your values are, decision making is easy. I could go as far. Tony Evans, a minister down in Dallas, Texas, wrote a book entitled "Was Jesus Republican or Democrat?" And in his book, basically, he says you make a list of your values, and you put Democrat here, Republican here, and you go down each value, and you put a check mark. Does this person agree with my values, or does this person not? And then you count up the number of check marks, and that's the way you vote. It's an interesting, that's an old Ben Franklin way of making a decision. But if you know what your values are, decision making is easy. The nursing staff at Self Memorial helped me come up with these values that we've got here. And they did this. They had a little card that had all these things on them, and anybody could walk up to them at any time and say, what is value number 6, or what is value number 5, and they had to be able to repeat it to get special rewards. Number 1 says, I believe that quality customer service is our primary focus. Would you agree with that? That's kind of hard not to agree with and keep your job, isn't it? We really need to. What is quality customer service?
It's what the customer says it is.
You're exactly right, that's what it is. But there are 4 different areas of customer service, I think. The largest part of a target here is common services. Can our students get what we offer in other places? There are many places they can go and get this. Can you pass 4 grocery stores and 3 convenience stores to stop and buy a loaf of bread on your way home? They all have basically the same thing. Common services is the easiest part of the target to hit. Okay? The next part of the target is perceived service. And this is where Brown Mackie spends its money on advertising. This is why we have posters up in the outside the elevator that says 1 class a month. We want the perception to be that we offer you something you can't get anywhere else, and by taking 1 class a month, this is what you'll get. That's a little easier to hit because of the advertising and things that we do. The next one is value-added service. What are some value-added things that we do at Brown Mackie that they can't get anywhere else?
Small class size?
Small class size might be some. We have some large classes too, in particular in Gen Ed. But yeah, small class sizes. But
And
they
other
change.
places do that
Other
too.
places do that. Latasha is an example of a value added for Brown Mackie. In a lot of places, you have to pay for tutoring. We offer tutoring for free. Okay, so that's a value added thing. What are some other value added things that we do?
The iPad.
The iPad is a value added thing. Waffle House and Subway are value-added things. We've worked at other schools that did not offer any outside services as far as food is concerned. And you worked at that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You worked at that for us so that we could have those things in here and they're value-added. What's the problem with value-added?
Sometimes you're not guaranteed it's going to pay off for the money you
Okay,
invest in it.
sometimes it may not pay off. What else?
May not be value added to everybody.
All right. And after a while, it becomes
Expectation.
expected.
People take it for granted.
So if you take it away, let me give you an example. Greenville Hospital System used to give teddy bears to newborn babies. They don't do it anymore. If your first child got a teddy bear and they gave him one and the second child doesn't get one, is there a problem?
You're gonna have a problem.
You're going to have a problem. So value added is important and we have to add things, but we constantly have to be looking at new things that we can do and add and changes we can make so that they see a value to it. A person who is in his or her 3rd or 4th year here may not see tutoring as a value. I don't need it anymore. And they don't see it as a value added situation that they can get here. But we are constantly having to do this. The last one is premium service. And premium service is when you're so good at what you do that people go out and tell other people about you. Okay. Our students are interlocked. Some of the same students that go to school here have been to school at Virginia College, they've been to ECPI, they've been to Greenville Tech, and they talk to each other. And they say, I'm over at Brown Mackie, and it is so much easier taking only 1 class at a time, and the faculty cares about you. That helps us. That's the kind of thing that we do. I tell my Pro-D, and I hope you're doing this, I tell my Pro-D students, in the first 2 or 3 months you're here, we're not going to tell you how to get somewhere, we're going to take you. I brought a student up to you today who didn't know where your office was. I couldn't say, go up to the dean's office. We take them where they need to go. The first 2 or 3 months, they're lost. And we need to do this. Now, studies have shown that if you are if unhappy with the service you're getting somewhere, on average, how many people do you tell? How many?
10.
20. On average, you'll tell 20 people. If you're happy with the service you got, how many will you tell?
1.
6.
You don't want to
In other words, if you lose a customer, you've got to find 3 more happy ones to replace the one you just lost. Because they're telling 20 people, you're no good, and you've got to find 3 more happy people to balance that out and do that. So how do we hit at least these 2 parts of the target on a regular basis?
Be consistent.
Consistency, okay? Consistency. What else?
Actually caring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Having
it-
the right people that live and breathe the values.
Right, you can only fake it for so long, and if you don't care, they know you don't care.
That's right.
And just speaking to them in the halls, even if you don't know their names, you've never taught them, but you say good morning to them when they walk by, makes a difference. They don't
Yeah.
get it at other places. They tell me they don't get it at other places. And I did something yesterday, and I try to do this fairly regularly in Pro D, and I bet you, I may be able to do the same thing in here. What is the name of the young lady who cleans our bathrooms?
Anna.
She's no longer, she's on another floor now. Priscilla. Priscilla.
Anna.
I speak to Priscilla by name every day. Every day I see her, I call her by name. What's the name of the guy that helps us cross the street down here? Tony. Where's he from?
He's from up north, I know. like-
Rhode Island.
Oh.
He's from Rhode Island. Okay. What's the name of the young lady who helps us across the street? She's a student here. That's Tiffany. Okay. Do you think they appreciate someone calling them by name and speaking to them every day? I tell my students their names and I say, speak to them. Because have you ever been a nobody where you work? And yet if Priscilla's not here cleaning our bathrooms, we've got a problem. We've got a big problem. So we have to look for these things that we can do. So, common services, perceived services, value-added services, and premium services. Convenience stores, like I said, are common services. You can get the same thing at any convenience store, drug stores. You can go to CVS and cross the street and go to Walgreens and get the same stuff in both places. Grocery stores, they're all common services. Sprint and Verizon are perceived services. If you've got one, if you've got AT&T, if you've got Sprint and you like Sprint and you had a bad experience with one of these others, your perception is different. So we have different perceptions. Lowe's and Home Depot. I shop at one because it's cleaner. I don't go into the other one. Now that's my perception. Okay? Barnes & Noble is a type of value-added place. You don't just go in to read a book. You can sit down and drink a cup of coffee while you're reading. You can open a book and read their book without buying it. You can open their magazines and read it without buying it. It's a value-added place. Okay? And Disney for a long time has been the premium service. They've had a few complications lately. But it has always been the place to do this. Now, here are the things that here's the first one. We believe that quality customer service is our primary focus. The second one said, I believe that everyone grows through appreciation.
Yep.
Do you tell people you appreciate them? I'm going back to Priscilla now. I got a little ahead of myself. But do you tell people you appreciate them?
Yeah.
How many times do you think you tell them and you don't really tell them? We think we tell people. I was working with the doctor's office here in Greenville, and Mr. Buchanan had asked me to go through and find out that he said the morale is bad here, and I need to find out what's wrong. And I spent the day interviewing staff. And when I got through, he said, well, what's our problem? I said, you are. I wasn't quite that blunt. But I said, your people don't feel appreciated. He said, I tell them all the time. And I spent the next day working with him. And he'd come by a desk and go,
Oh, yeah, that really shows me.
he'd do that all day long and never said to anybody, what he was saying was, good morning,
job.
how are you? You're doing a good job. But he wasn't saying it. And they weren't hearing it.
They didn't know how to interpret it.
They weren't interpreting his drumming of his own.
I mean, to be kept busy.
Yeah, but he was saying, and he thought he was saying, I appreciate you.
Right.
But they weren't hearing it. How many times do we think we tell the people we work with that we appreciate them, but it never really comes out of our mouths? And there are some different ways to do this.